Hi there, music fans. Welcome back to the channel. Thank you so much for tuning in. March is apparently a very big date in rock music. A lot of anniversaries. I've put them up on the site. They'll be coming out this week. Today marks the 38th anniversary of a diversive album in this band's career, a second phase in the band's career, if you will. This is the one and only 5150 from the mighty Van Halen. A little bit of a backstory: 1983, 1984, the band's album 1984, with the big singles "Jump," "Panama," "Hot for Teacher," "I'll Wait," made them the biggest band on the planet. These guys were the top, and all of a sudden, whatever happened, either Roth got fired, Roth quit, egos in the band imploded, and you know, Roth said the band is dead. Roth goes on with the Van Halen producer Ted Templeman to go and produce the forthcoming Eat 'Em and Smile record, which will come out the same year as this. I think they're like 2 months apart. Don, what's it called? Don Landee is producing, along with Foreigner's Mick Jones, which was odd choices. Because at one point they said Foreigner and Van Halen were kind of enemies in the rock world. They were kind of competing whose album would sell more. So it's very interesting how they bring this guy in. But Mick Jones has a great ear and is a great songwriter. So now looking at it in hindsight, great choice on their part. I remember, I was back in school. I just started college, I believe, and I was a huge Van Halen fan, still am. But I love David Lee Roth. So when I heard, the guy who sings the song "I Can't Drive 55" is going to be the singer. I don't know. And Ted Templeman is off with Roth. I said, Templeman's with Roth for a reason. Either we don't know the whole story. Maybe Van Halen is really wrong, or Roth has really got some good songs. Maybe Van Halen is going to be in trouble here. And I was convinced they kind of were. Without Roth, I thought they were going to be dead in the water. And then their producer, who did all their albums, is suddenly moving on with Roth. And then I'm hearing, Foreigner. Who did I want to know what love is? Are they? Is he's the right guy for this band? I didn't see it at first, but Mick Jones is a great, great songwriter. So Why Can't This Be Love comes out. I thought it was a good song. Not I wasn't impressed at the time for some reason. I was I guess so distraught that Roth wasn't singing. I just didn't want to hear this song. I remember going to this little place called Sam the Record Man in downtown Montreal and pick up the vinyl. Had it wrapped, sitting on my stereo system, waited for the David Lee Roth album because I heard Yankee Rose, and it's reminded me of the early Van Halen albums. And I said, wow, with Templeman on board, this is going to be, colossal album. Um, Went to school, had my Van Halen shirt, and this guy beside me goes, "Hey man, what do you think about Sammy Hagar in the band now?" And I said, "Oh, I think he sucks." And he goes, "Oh wow." He goes, "Did you pick up the new album?" I said, "Yeah, I have it." He goes, "Did you listen to it?" I said, "No." I said, "It's still wrapped." He goes, "What do you?" He goes, well, "How can you say that?" I said, "Well, it's not David Lee Roth, man. It's like, what are we talking about here? You know, it's like saying, I don't know, the Beatles without Paul McCartney and John Lennon in it, or Led Zeppelin without Robert Plant. I don't know. Just didn't I could not compute that. I could not get that out of my head that Roth is not leading this band. He goes, give it a listen. It's not bad. So I went home, listened to it, and to be honest, Good Enough didn't impress me at first. And I was like, oh, we're in trouble here. Why Can't This Be Love is good. I didn't think it was great at the time. Get Up, it's a generic rocker, I thought at the time. Dreams was good. Summer Nights was good. Best of Both Worlds. Oh my God, I love that song. Still do. My favorite song from Sammy Hagar. Love Walks In is great. 5150 and Inside is great too. I've learned to love Good Enough. Say what you will. I think the only the band that I think that really transitioned well was AC/DC with Back in Black. That was, I think, the only band that nobody. Well, because original singer died, right? So maybe that's why it's just less of a hassle. Kiss had problems for years with different members. People weren't on board, but that's how it was back in the day. You stuck to the original band. You don't. We didn't accept replacement players like we do now, right? That time it was just unheard of. Say what you will, it's a great album. I love it. I think it's a it's more melodic, a little bit more 80s sound, not live in the studio like the original Van Halen albums, but that's okay. It's a different time, different band, different feel. The showmanship is kind of gone. Hagar is kind of like the straight man now. It's a, down the middle, not really kind of funny like Roth was, straight down the middle, which is okay. I take it as I had David Lee Roth solo albums, and I used to call them, a lot of guys used to call this Van Hagar. So the best of both worlds. You had two albums coming out because they almost used to come out the same time. The marketing at Warner Brothers, right? So I used to take it. I have two albums now instead of one, and that's not too shabby. But this is still a solid album. I like it. I think good enough and Get Up and even Summer Nights. If they tweaked it, Roth could have tackled these songs. But that's me. Good album. Can you compare? No, I think it's a different beast. This is basically Foreigner and Journey merging together, having a baby, and we got Van Hagar out of it. It's a different beast altogether. You can't compare. You never will. You can't take Van Halen one and put it against OU812. There's they're just not the same. It's two different beasts. I take it as two phases of the career. There's some days I really prefer Roth, and there's some days I prefer Hagar. I like both now. I enjoy both. Great way to start their second phase. It's a solid album. Do yourself a favor if you've never heard it, and if you only like Roth, like I used to be, give it a chance. Take it as a second phase. Different beast altogether. And I think it's much more enjoyable. But that's me. You let me know what you think. Do you like this album? Do you have this album? Do you prefer Van Hagar? Do you prefer David Lee Roth? We'd love to hear from you. Put your thoughts down below. I'll put a couple of songs down below. Give it a listen to. Let me know what you think. Definitely would love to hear from you. This is Steven with my initial thoughts and wishing the Van Halen guys happy anniversary with 5150.